Hi, so this video is about making holes on Inventor. What's the reason why do we make holes? Things usually get attached and put together using different kinds of screws or maybe pegs. In the real world, you have many different sizes and shapes of screws that you might use to put things together. So these are some just examples. You'll notice some are rounded on the top, some have like squarish, like flat all the way around. Some may have this V shape. Okay, they need to sit inside the material, so they're not sticking out. Okay, so um, the reason why we do them, um, well, why we want to hide them, is because screws can get caught on things. It might cause injury, and it's neater. So um, I'm going to show you an example of that. So we want to hide them and have them sit inside the material so that they don't get caught on things and they don't rub on things. And usually these will cause accidents if they're sticking out. Okay, so this is what you're going to learn today in Inventor. All right, so let's go to Inventor. Um, this is the end product that you will make. On this one, probably at the end, I will ask you to add color to it. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna close this. Okay, I'm not gonna save changes to it. So we're gonna start over from the beginning. So I'm gonna close this too. So once you open Inventor, you're gonna be on this page right here. You're gonna click on Part. Okay. You're gonna click on 2D Sketch here, the symbol. You're gonna put your cursor right here where it says XY plane and click on it. The first thing we're going to do is make a box. So I'm going to scoot this over here. All I'm doing is pressing down on the wheel on my mouse. I'm going to take my rectangle tool, start from the corner, and make a random size. It doesn't matter what size. You don't have to follow the size I have here because I'll show you how to change it. Okay? So I just click randomly. What we want to do now is to make this 6 by 3. So I'm going to click on dimension up here, and we can dimension this line by clicking on both ends or just by clicking on the line. So I'll click on the line, click on the number that will pop up. Remember, once it's highlighted, you can change it. I'm going to type in 6 and then press enter. My square rectangle disappeared, so I'm going to click on front here on my cube. So I'll see it again. I'm still on dimension, so I'm going to click on this line and make that 3. Okay. I don't want to be in dimension anymore. So I'm going to either click on dimension to make it go away. Oop, it didn't work that time. So what I can do is this. I can right click and then cancel. Okay. Or I can just press escape on my keyboard. So I would just press that and dimension goes away. Okay. Um, you want to do that every time you're done using a tool, because what you'll tend to forget is that you're on a tool and you're trying to do something and it's not working. Usually the reason is you're still using a tool. Okay. All right. Finish the sketch. Click on this home, and then you're going to extrude this. So click on extrude here. We want to extrude the other way, 3 inches. Okay. Click OK. All right, click on home again. So I like centering things, so um, because I can see the whole thing. Okay, just preference. All right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna put holes on the top of this box. Um, the way holes are done is that you have to have a sketch first, and then you can start using this piece right here. Sometimes you can use a hole by sketching a circle right on the surface, and then extruding that hole. But that's limited. Okay, I'll show you why. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna click on 2D sketch. I'm gonna click on the surface where I want the hole to appear. Okay, I'm gonna drag that here to the middle. I'm going to use my project geometry. because I want to use these sides as reference. So I'm gonna put my mouse when it's all entirely green, with all the sides, all the edges are green. I'm gonna click on it. Okay. Now all of the sides, all the edges are yellow. I'm gonna put a point randomly, 4 points. Okay, they're not in line, but we will fix that. All right, I'm still on point, so I'm gonna press escape on my keyboard, or I can right click and then press escape. Um, I know this is 6 inches, so if I take 6 divided by 5, why 5? Because there's 5 spaces in between these points. So this is the first one, space 1, space 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I want those holes to line up equally. So I'm gonna take calculator, 6 divided by 5, I get 1.2. So I'm gonna dimension this dot or this point from here to here, and I want that to be 1.2 away from each other. Okay, I'm gonna click on this point and on this point, and I want them to be 1.2 away from each other. Okay. Um, you know what? I don't like where this. I know. Let's do that later. So I'm gonna the 1.2 here again. Okay. You know, it's kind of looks messy here. So what we want to do is this. If they have the same measurements, what you want to do, get out of this dimension first, and then you can move them around. Okay. Make sure they line up nicely. You don't want it to be all the way down here. You don't want it all the way to be up on the line. You don't want it to be inside. Always outside, but enough space um, so that it looks even. It looks nice. It doesn't look crowded. Okay. So this is kind of where I want them to line up. Okay. I know I'm not gonna put anything inside, so I put it a little closer. Okay. Let's continue dimensioning from this point to this point. 1.2. We'll fix that later. 1 point for this point. 1.2. Accept because the computer knows it's already 1.2 because that was the last one. So we're just okay, and there's a parenthesis on it, a meaning like, oh, we already know its dimension. You just know that it's 1.2. Anyway, right click, escape. Let's move this. Okay, we're gonna move this dot, or this point. I know this is 3 inches. Half of that is 1.5. So I'm gonna dimension this 1.5. Okay. Again, it moved. We'll fix it later. Um, I'm gonna get out of dimension, escape. I'm gonna move this up, make it line up with that one, make it line up with that one, and then make it line up with that one. Okay. Now we can move this, fix it. It's probably better to do all of these lines uh, if you can in the beginning, but at this point, I think it was better to do it at the end. Okay. All right. We're gonna finish the sketch here. All right. So now we're gonna make holes on these sketches. Okay. All right. What size holes are we gonna make? So if we go back here, you will see. I'm gonna close this real quick. We're gonna make these right here. Okay. But before we get to that, I want to show you this. So a through hole, it goes all the way through from top to end, bottom. A blind hole stops at a certain distance. It's called blind because you can't really see it. Okay, where it ends, you can't really measure it. Okay, so that's called a blind hole. The symbols that you should know are these. So this is the symbol for diameter. Okay, it has to have that slash diagonally. Depth, how deep it goes. So this is the symbol. Countersink, we'll talk more about that later. And then counter bore. Okay, this is the symbol. You know what? Let me show you. So this is a counter bore right here. It's flat. It's meant for screws that look like. Oh, actually, this is a good one. You know, it has a flat end to it, a flat head. Okay. Um, Let me see. Let me go back to the screws here. So counter bores are perfect for this one, that one, and these. Okay. And then countersink, there's a triangular cone shape to it. It's perfect for these type of screws. Okay. All right. So anyway, going down, these are the guideline or the picture that we want to follow. Okay. We're gonna do a through hole. The diameter of that through hole is zero point 0.5. So it's very simple. So in Inventor, you can do a circle and then just extrude that. That's great. But you cannot do all of these other ones with other types of sketches with a circle. Okay. So zero point 0.5 through. So let's go and do that. Click hole here. It selects all of that. So we don't want to select all of that. We want to select only one. So we're gonna click on here, clear the selections. We're gonna select the first one, and we want that hole to be non-threaded, like a simple hole. We don't want to seat on it. We don't want a counter bore or counter sink, and we want it to go all the way through. So this is a certain distance. This is through all. Okay, and I already forgot what's the size. Zero point 0.5 diameter. So the diameter is right here, zero point 0.5. Looks good. Click OK. All right, let's go to the next one. Um, you notice the points disappear. So if I click on this plus sign here and I right click on this symbol, I turn on the visibility. Now I can see it. I can keep using them. Okay. Um, we're gonna do another hole on this one. Again, we don't want to select all three. We cancel here. Select this one. Okay. On this one, we want a counter bore. This is the top line is how deep the whole screw is. So it's 0.375 diameter. So that's the distance here. That's how thick the screw is. And then how deep it is 2.0. So 2 inches down. So let's do that first. I know we're going to have a counter bore. Okay. It didn't say have threads on it. So we're not going to mess with any of these yet. We're going to go to a certain depth. So this is where the 2 inches is. Okay. And I'm forgetting the diameter here. 0.375. Okay. So the diameter is actually this is the diameter that we want to do. Okay. That's the diameter of the actual screw or the actual hole, not the counter bore. Okay. All right. Now the counter bore itself is 0.75 and zero point 0.5 depth. Okay. 0.75 diameter and zero point 0.5 depth. So this is the counter bore here, 0.75 diameter, and then we want this to be zero point 0.5. Okay, and click OK. All right, now I'm going to use my orbit tool. You can see it stops inside. So that's why it's called a blind hole. Can't really measure how deep that is. Okay, but you have your counter bore right there, sitting right there. Okay, I'm going to get out of my orbit by pressing escape. Let's do another one. Third one. I want to deselect those two. Just want to select this one. On the next one, it's going to be a countersink. The diameter of the entire tool is 0.25, so this actual hole itself. And we want that to be 2.25 deep. Okay? All right, so hopefully I can remember that. 0.25 here. Okay? And then the depth from the top to bottom, including the countersink, 2.25. Let's not forget it is a countersink, so let's click on this. All right, let's go back to the picture. The countersink is 1 inch in diameter and then 82 degrees angle. Usually that's standard, so we're not going to change that 82 degrees, but we want this to be 1 inch. Okay, I believe that's it. And now if you look at it, that's your countersink. So the head of that screw will sit in there. Okay, like so you need to know how deep the screws are, the heads are, so you know how deep the counter bores will be. okay, or countersink. Press escape to get out of the orbit. I'm going to click on hole again and then do the last one. The last one is a counter bore. It goes all the way through. The size of the screw is zero point 0.5. And so let's do that first because it's hard to remember them. Um, Counter bore, we want to go all the way through. And then we want the size of that screw to be zero point 0.5. Is that right? Yeah. All right. And then counter bore itself, the diameter is 0.75 and it's 0.625D. Okay. Let's see. I think I already forgot. Okay. 0.75, that's the diameter of the counter bore. And then how deep it is, 0.625. Oh, I did remember. Click OK. All right. So at the end, you're going to end up, you have two holes there. They look the same, but one is counter bore. Okay. Counter bore, counter sink, counter bore. Okay. Press escape to get out of that. Now, if you don't want the sketch appearing there, you're gonna right click. Actually, I click on home here. Why am I doing that? Press escape here to get an orbit. You're gonna right click here. Actually, either one will work. Um, right click on the symbol, change the visibility. Okay, it turns it off. Still there, but it turns it off. Now, for the last part, I want you to color all the sides to whatever you want. You should have learned this on the previous uh, video. Okay? All right. Thank you. Bye bye.